Here we go.
Discus. It's underway in the F44. A couple of fouls we've had. Akeem STEWART of Trinidad and Tobago, Dan Greaves of Great Britain, and Jeremy Campbell of the United States, the reigning world champion and Paralympic Games champion, next to go.
Jeremy Campbell, 65.15, Paralympic champion from London. The F44 world record.
Bit of a hold-up for him here, though. We've started off with 2 fouls. Dan Greaves is the European and Commonwealth champion, and he's been winning medals back to Sydney 2000. Good distance from Campbell. It's beyond 60 meters. Now, the championship record is 58.98, so that's broken by Campbell. First throw. The final arc is 60 meters, and that certainly is a new championship record. Well into the lead, a few meters beyond 60 as well. His own world record, Campbell, is 63.46. I don't think it was that, but he goes straight into the lead straight away. And that certainly sets the standard. Greaves is a solid 60-meter man himself, and will probably have to be today. 61 meters 21, and that is a new championship record. Jeremy Campbell is in the lead.
Dan Greaves and Jeremy Campbell having been at the front of this class for quite a while now and pushing each other. World record for world record over a number of years now. Jeremy Campbell been in Sports Illustrated photo shoot, I believe, so he's a bit of a personality.
Abdurraouf SAID of Libya. 42.50 is his lifetime best. So we'll be doing exceptionally well to get into the medals. There's talent in the family. Campbell's brother was involved in the NFL for a couple of years, played for the Detroit Lions, Indiana Colts, Kansas City Chiefs. Notoriously short career in the NFL.
Should have taken up discus. I'm sure his brother could have taught him a couple of things.
Yeah. Well, Josip SLIVAR is in this, is 45 years old. We've seen him at a lot of championships down through the years. It's David Blair of the United States. He's the 5th, hoping to be the 5th to register a mark. 8 have thrown ahead of him, and 4 have hit fouls, including Dan Greaves of Great Britain. At the moment, 40.76 is the bottom target for the Estonian Egert JOESAAR. That's around 55, I think. That was an excellent throw. Perhaps a bit further, actually. Put him into the medals. Jeremy Campbell leading with a championship record, 61.21. Josip SLIVAR of Croatia, the 45-year-old, 45.22, lying in 2nd place. And Jackie Christiansen, very successful, 41.04. Was 3rd, now 4th, because Blair has made it 1-2 for the United States at the top of the standings. 56 meters 71 for Blair. He's 4.5 meters behind Campbell, who is our leader. Next up for South Africa, Ian Simon, 10th to throw of the 12. Top 8 will get all 6 attempts, a la the IAAF World Championship final. That's well out of the quadrant. How was that meeting anyway? The fastest Paralympian got good support, generated lots of excitement.
Yeah, everyone over there was excited, as you'd expect in Rio. Everything you hear about them is party, party, party. So they were all excited. It was great for me to get over there. One, just to practice the travel, because obviously it's a long way from Australia. So we had over 30 hours of travel, and just to get there and realize how long it's going to take me to get acclimatized to Rio and the different time zone. I didn't sleep past 5:30 in the morning any day of the week that we were there, so I'm a little bit. We now know that I need to be there earlier, and it was really good practice for that.
How long does it take to fly there, then?
It was over 30 hours of travel, so yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Matusik will be
Well,
next.
we had to fly from Canberra to Sydney, Sydney to New Zealand, New Zealand to Chile, and then Chile into Rio.
Well, that is well out of the quadrant anyway for Matusik.
Don't worry.
No direct flights? Surely there must have direct flights. No?
No direct flights.
Really?
No. But don't worry, the Rio organising committee looked after me quite well. They put me in business. First time I've flown business. That's a lie. I flew business back from Rio and London. All the gold medalists do for Australia.
Matusik, not the business at the moment. That's another foul. We only have 5 out of 11 who've registered marks so far. Miltiadis KYRIAKIDIS of Greece will be the last to go. There you go. Well, he's off the mark. On the board, that's, I guess, around 40. Which may be modest, but will put him around 6th place at the moment. It will put him pretty much there. It's in a poor run of form. Unusual to see so many athletes committing fouls. But KYRIAKIDIS, lifetime best of 46.38, which at the moment would be good enough for 3rd, but probably won't be long term. .39.71, and he is in 6th place. So Akeem STEWART, Trinidad and Tobago, not doing too badly all of a sudden in the field events. That was just inside the quadrant. That was around 51, 52 meters. That'll be top 3 straight away.
And he didn't even spin, he just stood there and threw it. Look at the power.
Add on a spin, and how far could he throw it? Bingo, that's a really, really good throw. That's extraordinarily good.
They need to teach him how to spin, and he can represent at the Olympics.
He's in 3rd place. Now 63.03 is his lifetime best achieved this year. World record for an F44 athlete. That was in Toronto at the Pan Ams back in August. It's fantastic. 3rd place here. So now, Dan Greaves for Britain. Foul in the 1st round. Solid throw here. Should put him on the podium for now. And can he stay there? That is just beyond 50 meters, maybe around 51, 52. 52.79 is bronze for now. That's a foul. That's been called as a foul again. And he's disputing it. But he was red flagged immediately.
This is not what an athlete needs in competition like this. Something's stressing them.
Let's have a good look. Well, seemed okay. Both feet landed back in. Did he maybe clip the outer ring? That's the only thing. It certainly didn't look it from there. They went to measure it, round 52. Immediate red flag.
He's asked, are you sure?
Well, he's in a bit of bother here. Has to get a mark with his 3rd round throw, and a mark good enough to be in the top 8 of 3 final throws. Here's our leader, Jeremy Campbell. Our reigning champion in the Paralympic Games champion too.
Can he improve on his 61.21?
Well, I think he's going to have to. I think he's been told there's going to be a medal ceremony coming shortly, and if he wishes to wait, he can wait. Field events are always suspended during medal ceremonies, just to avoid distraction. Campbell is in position. Probably go through with this. Medal ceremony is just about to start, but here he comes. Second attempt for Jeremy Campbell. That is another monster, and it's beyond 60. But is it beyond 61? Super throw.
And none of the athletes are happy with the judge down there. That's been called a foul as well, I believe.
Well, let's now take a look at Jeremy Campbell. This is his second throw, which was called a foul. I'm just wondering there whether we saw any problems with that, because it looked like a decent throw, and he's surprised. He's not
happy about that one.
They called it, and then it's been. There it is there.
Looks to be okay from here.
It looks all right from there. The red flag goes up to begin with. And he gets a result after arguing the point. He's talking with the officials, asking what the problem was. They give him the result, which would have been massive because 61.21 was a championship record, which was his first throw for Jeremy Campbell. They give him 61.50, which would have then been 0.29 of a metre further than what he'd already thrown. And then after this, it's taken away. So 61.
The boys over there in the discus will be thinking that the judge giving them all the red cards will be out later to compete in one of the visually impaired classes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's long jump team 42.
السيدات والسادة، الآن مراسم التتويج لمنافسة الوثب الطويل تي 42.
Well, here's KYRIAKIDIS, the Greek. Well, that one there.
That'll be a foul.
It's not one of his best throws. That's well outside the permitted area. You can see he's just let go of it way too early. Needed to swing around further to his left-hand side, which would have been the front of his body, but there's no disputing that red flag there. So he stays with the best of 39.71 from his opening throw, which leaves him in 7th position. Well, this man did all right, didn't he, in his first throw? A man from Trinidad and Tobago, Akeem STEWART.
I've been meaning to pitch a bit of a business idea to David Brown of the US after meeting him in Rio. Tinder's all the rage at the moment.
Well, this one here is certainly bigger than 52.79, which he threw in his first one. This one here is up near the 55-metre mark or thereabouts, and he does it without even spinning. How he does that with that such upper body strength. His trunk is so strong. That's around the 55-metre mark. Just wait for confirmation of what the actual throw is. Akeem STEWART in 3rd position at the moment. David Blair is 56.71, 55 metres thereabouts. There it is, confirmation, 54.36 for Akeem STEWART. So he stays in 3rd position. He's got a personal best of 63.03, which he threw this season. Now this is pressure, isn't it? Dan Greaves.
Can he respond?
He's had 2 fouls. He has to come up with something here if he's to get himself into the final 8. What can he come up with? Pressure galore.
He's just put something on the board there. He hasn't even spun.
He hasn't spun at that. He's up around the 50-metre mark without even spinning. So
ensuring that he gets his next 3 throws.
Exactly right. Smart work from Dan Greaves. He's made sure that he's put himself in a position with no fouls at all, just straight out there. Almost like when you're taught as a youngster how to throw the discus. It's just get there and make sure you get your body position right and you throw it straight towards the front. So Dan Greaves, 46.88 for the man from Great Britain. It puts him up into 4th position. And here is Jeremy Campbell with his 3rd round throw. Now, we saw in his 2nd round throw that he argued about the fact that he was given a foul. They gave him an actual meterage, which was about 62.5 metres, but that was then taken away. So let's see now what he can do with his 3rd throw, the big American who's currently leading at the top of the scoreboard. Well, that is big. But how big is it? That's the question. It's certainly up around the 60-metre mark. It's not over the 60-metre mark, though, so we know it's not going to be anywhere near the 61.21 that he set in his first round throw. Plenty of height. I suspect he'd probably be looking for a little bit less height and to get a little bit more distance from it. But he's leading the competition, and he's leading the competition by a fair way. Around 5 metres ahead at the present time, 5 or 4.5 metres ahead of his nearest challenger in David Blair.
I think that one just went a little bit too high.
58.4. I think the height was definitely the problem there with that one, so that's something he's going to have to work on, but he still retains first place as we now look to Said of Libya, who is in 9th position. Well, he needs to get himself a... At the moment, he's got 2 fouls. He's got absolutely nothing. So this, a similar situation to Dan Greaves. He puts it out there. Is it going to stay in? It's just going to stay in. So Abdurraouf SAID, after 2 fouls in his opening 2 throws, has finally got himself onto the board. He's going to be around the 40-metre mark. Certainly not over it. And I suggest that when people are doing their 3rd throw, it's just a case of making sure they get there. There it is, 38.12, puts him up into 9th position. Well, David Blair, who's in 2nd position, 56.71 is his best so far. This is his 3rd attempt. And he's got some going to go if he's going to get anywhere near Jeremy Campbell, his US compatriot who leads the charts. Well, that looks big, doesn't it? That looks big from David Blair.
Right on the 60-metre mark.
Well, he likes it. He's got a white flag. He's happy with that. Nice spin, nice turn, nice momentum. And David Blair, well, he's gone to the furthest line there is the 60-metre mark. And he's gone near that. Now it's just a case of seeing how close he can get to Jeremy Campbell of 61.21, who leads at the top. 56.71 to start with was his best in his first throw. Well, 59.93, so he's come 7 centimetres short of reaching the magical 60-metre mark. He still trails, though, does David Blair. Jeremy Campbell is in first place. Well, here is Simon. Well, he had 2 fouls. And what's he come up with there? He doesn't look happy. He doesn't look happy with that. 2 fouls to start with Leanne Simon. Well, that's a foul as well. So 3 X's next to his name. Now the Slovakian Adrian MATUSIK. He had 2 fouls already. Let's see what he's come up with as well. Well, it's landed within the area. No confirmation as yet. Hard to predict this. Such has been the officiating with the foul situations, to work out sometimes just why they've actually been given a red flag. But Matusik desperately needs to come up with a target. But he's been given a 3rd red flag as well. So that's the end of his day's work. So Jeremy Campbell, after the 3rd round, leads with 61.21 metres. David Blair with a personal best on his 3rd throw of 59.93. Akeem STEWART is in 3rd place. And there we have 2 who missed out. Matusik at the bottom, along with Simon.
So now Dan Greaves, 4th round throw in the discus. And this has gone out to around 55. And he's looking to improve his lot. Jeremy Campbell still our leader, 61-21. We're into the fourth round. David Blair in second place for the United States, 59.93. Now Greaves outside the medals in fourth place. Akeem STEWART in third, 54.36, improved in the third round very well. So that's the mark that Greaves has had to match to at least get a medal. And he's managed it, 54.79. Dan Greaves goes up into the bronze medal position. And David Blair is next with his second round attempt. Personal best in the previous round, 59.93. That's another awesome effort. That's very close to 60 meters. Exquisite throw from David Blair. It'll bring him, I think, a lot closer to Campbell in the gold medal position. David Blair, Mount Eagle. Beyond 60 meters, 60.46. He stays second. He's less than a meter down on gold. David Blair in his first Paralympic Games. He's doing exceptionally well. His first World Championships, I mean to say. Finished second in the Desert Challenge Games, representing the USA, and doing so with distinction. He's on his way to a medal. Quite tight between the top four.
563, we've just noticed the win was plus 2.3 meters per second, so it won't stand for record purposes, but good enough to lead through distance.
So Jeremy Campbell leads with 2 rounds to go. 61.21. The debutant, David Blair, personal best, 60.46. Greaves in third now for Great Britain, 54.79. But Akeem STEWART of Trinidad and Tobago is not very far away. So attempt number 5 for Dan Greaves. 54.79 in the previous round. Trying to get this launched out again. It's around the same mark. Very impressive by Greaves. Looking to defend bronze here. Aiming for a bit of an improvement to make his bronze medal a little bit more secure and maybe elevate himself towards Blair, who's on 60 meters. So Greaves remains in third place, 54.70, very close to his best mark of 54.79. Akeem STEWART next of Trinidad and Tobago, 54.36, his best attempt so far. Foul in the fourth round, foul in the first. An excellent run, the Paralympics in Toronto. He's an F43 who's guesting in the F44 final. We'll return to it. So STEWART is ready to go now. About 45 centimeters behind Greaves. That's another monster. That's heading out towards 60.
Did you notice he spun that time? He didn't stand still and throw.
Well, he's added about 5 meters by doing that. He's got out to 63.03, which is the new F43 world record from August. in Toronto. That is really close to 60 meters. Well, that's him back in the medals. That's him beyond Greaves again. He's moved up to 3rd place, and if he'd gone a little bit beyond that white line there, could have got up into 2nd, or even better. But Stewart is back in the medals. 59 meters 13, and Stewart goes 3rd.
He was just warming up earlier, but standing still and throwing. He's decided he's warm enough now to spin.
Well, there's David Blair, who sits in 2nd position. Currently a best of 60.46, just behind Jeremy Campbell. A personal best, though. What's he come up with on this one? Has he got any closer? I suspect not. 54.87. Well, here we go with Dan Greaves with his 6th attempt. What can he come up with in the T44 discus throw? He's tried to get up there near the 60-meter mark. 54.79 season. Before that, 54.79, his best to date. I think he's gone a little bit further than that. The question is, though, has he gone far enough? I suspect not, because he needs to be up around the 60-meter mark, but I think he's just short. He is 56.95, so disappointment for Dan Greaves, who's now in 4th position. And that is more than likely where he's going to end up. Akeem STEWART.
That's a foul.
He's been a revelation, hasn't he? And there, but the spin didn't help him. A foul for Akeem STEWART. The F43 world record holder at 63.03, which he set this year, but hasn't quite lived up to that mark today, but he's in 3rd place. 59.13 with his 5th throw. Now here we have David Blair, the man who's in 2nd position. Season best of 60.46 in his 4th throw. What can he come up with here? He's put everything into it, but he's put too much into it. And that has gone way high and right to the right-hand side. So a disappointing throw for David Blair in his final effort. There's the replay. He's just let it go way right. Almost looks like he lost grip of it as it came out of his hand. So he'll finish in 2nd position. And it'll be Jeremy Campbell. He'll take out the championship record with his 1st throw of 61.21. There he is. Walking in, no pressure here, because he has a championship record of 61.21. He holds the world record as well of 63.46. What's he going to do with this? Plenty of yelling and screaming as it came out the hand, but it's not up there near his winning mark of 61.21. That's around the 55-meter mark. I don't think he'll mind too much, though. The man with the beard, because he knows he's won this discus throw F44 event. He's going to pick up a gold medal for the United States, and they're going to finish in the top 2 positions as well, with David Blair in there in silver, just giving him a hug. They know they picked up the Quinella, the 1-2. So 61.21. 55.67. He's finished with his final throw, but there's confirmation of the result. The top 3 of Campbell and Blair of the United States, and Akeem STEWART of Trinidad and Tobago coming in the bronze medal position. Disappointment for Dan Greaves.